Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. This is a quick mounting of a mini Phalaenopsis. It's not a bad root system for a mini Phalaenopsis because they're often a bit weak compared with some of their giant cousins, which I'm not so keen on. I've got 4 mini Phalaenopsis in my notes, and 2 of them have yet to be identified because they haven't bloomed for quite a while. In fact, this one hasn't bloomed since I bought it in bloom, so this one's a bit slow, but it has produced 2 new leaves, so it is growing. It's got some active root tips on it, yeah, so that's good, and it shows capabilities of branching out, so even some that haven't got growing tips on them may still branch out. So you're going on a mount. It's been a very long day. This is the last one of the day. I think I've done 5 videos today, and I've got a backlog of stuff sat there not posted yet. So I've got videos coming out my ear holes. I don't want that much. I was just breaking my rules there and about. It's an old habit. I've been mounting stuff for so many years, and in the past I've always put the moss on first and sat the roots on the top. And then when the moss breaks down, you've got to take the flipping thing off the mount to get out. You know. So what I tend to do now, which I nearly forgot, it's late in the day, is put the plant on there first and put the moss on the top. And if you do need to take the moss off because it's breaking down, you don't have to disturb the plant. And all those roots that have managed to attach themselves can stay where they are. Now obviously a Phalaenopsis has an incline. That would be a silly way to mount it because it would just look wrong. It needs to go sideways on, yeah? And this is more how they would naturally grow. And you see the way the leaves are angled away from the upright position. Well, that means when they get covered in rain, the water runs straight off. It literally runs straight off, and it doesn't collect anywhere in leaf joints or stuff, which could cause problems. Personally, I've never known those problems to actually occur. Probably because I've got good air circulation and stuff dries off quite quick. I'm just spreading these roots slightly, and then I'm going to put a small amount of moss over the top of some of them, not all of them, and it is a small amount too. I just want to keep the roots around the base of the plant hydrated, but I want to leave the root tips exposed, those that there are, and a little bit round. Actually, I'm not even going to put any round the top. I'm going to leave those 2 roots round the top to actually attach. So that's it in position, and now we try and tie it on without knocking it off. I always use fishing line. Not everybody likes that, but I do because it's invisible. So once I've actually got the ties on, I don't have to look at it. You know, bits of string and bits of wire and stuff like that, they are quite conspicuous. Let's make sure I got enough. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to go round. Hopefully only 2 or 3. We shall see. I'll let you into a secret. I've just done a mammoth repotting session. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plants, plus this one, 7, which is a mount, not a repot. And do you know what I didn't do? Guilty. I never sterilised my scissors once. I sterilised them at the beginning and then just completely forgot. But you have to bear in mind most of those plants didn't get anything trimmed, so I didn't use the scissors that much, but guilty. Strictly speaking, sterilise your scissors in between each plant, and then if a plant's got a nasty in it, you don't pass it on to the next one. And in some cases, if you've got an iffy plant that you think might have a virus or fusarium or any of those nasty things, then strictly speaking you should sterilise the flipping scissors between every single cut, because you might be cutting into an infected part of the plant and then promptly cutting into a piece that's not infected, and then you've just spread it around. So you know, cleanliness is well, I won't say next to that because I don't believe in all that stuff, but you know what I mean. Keep your stuff clean, sterilise your pots. I mean, I've just sterilised that mount. My method of sterilising a mount that's been used before, or even if it hasn't been used before, is to pour boiling water over it, leave it to soak, then come back to it and pour boiling water over it again. I don't think anything manages to live under those circumstances. So, okay, I've made my slip knot. Yeah, I had a feeling that might happen. Oh, it's late in the day. It's just dawned on me, I've been running today on a single piece of toast with a lovely homemade marmalade that I got at the raffle at the Orchid Society meeting. Lovely homemade Seville orange marmalade, and it is gorgeous. But that's all I've had today, is a slice of toast with some marmalade. Umpteen coffees that I've lost count of. I don't count the amount of coffees I have because it would probably worry me. And I'm now on my second glass of wine, which probably means I've had enough. And what I need now is food, proper food, not just a bit of toast. So I've got my first loop round, and now I'm going to go round once. I think I might go round again, just to hold those roots quite tight to the mount. It will help them attach. And then I'm going to come up there and go round the top once. I've got a dangly root. Well, if I tuck that in before I actually put the loop round, it'll hold it in place. And then if it branches, it'll attach. That's the loop that doesn't want to be too tight because it's against the roots. But hopefully they're going to branch anyway. So that's the front of the plant sorted out. Now all I've got to do is, I've got far too much fishing iron here. But it's better to have too much and lose a bit than not have enough and run out. And you think, oh, I need to go round again and I haven't got enough. And the way I mount, I do a slip knot which gives me a V. And then I've got something to pull against, as you can see, by threading it through that V. I've now got a good tying point. I don't need a tag on this one because I don't know what it is. I know it's a mini Phalaenopsis, but what I don't know is which one. But it gives me a nice place to tie. And then that is it. That's all it needs. As I said, normally I would now tie a tag on if I knew what the hell it was, but I don't. Mini Phalaenopsis, as yet unidentified. That plant is rigid, absolutely firm, which is exactly what you want on a mount. Wobbly plants on a mount don't seem to do so well. I have no explanation for that, but if they're tied on nice and firm, they seem to take off better, and for some reason the roots attached. I wonder why that is. It's because they're touching the bark. So we've got a good spread of roots down through here, and we have a couple up the top, one with a growing tip. The chances are, if that maintains that growing tip, that will be the first one to attach. And then we had the dangly one, which is now down sort of touching some moss, and if it branches, it's directly onto the bark. That's a nice little mount. The mini Phalaenopsis look nice on mounts. I don't think the great big strappy ones look so good, because to be in proportion with the mount, you'd have to have a foot square, wouldn't you? And obviously that becomes clumsy. There are very few orchids that won't grow well on a mount. I would say Paphiopedilums are not the best candidates for mounting because they're bordering on terrestrials at the end of the day. That's not how they would naturally grow, although some grow on rocks and cliff faces, but nonetheless they don't seem to do so well. Cattleyas do well mounted. Brassicas, in fact, I would say, unless it's just too heavy to accommodate on a mount when you first mount it, virtually all the Oncidiums and the intergenerics will do well mounted. But the trouble is some of them get so big and so heavy, to actually try and mount one from scratch when it's that size, you've got a hell of a job to tie it on and make it secure without garrotting the roots. If you can start with a young plant and get it mounted and get it attached, then brilliant. But these mini Phalaenopsis, in my book, have always done better mounted than they ever have in a pot. So that one's come out of a pot and gone onto a mount. And we'll see how it goes. And do you know what I've just spotted down in that leaf joint? A flipping mealybug. Now that could be a dead mealybug, because I got a feeling I got at that last time I watered it with some alcohol. So that's a body rather than a living specimen. If you want to see some mealybugs and have a laugh, go to the channel Tropical Plant Party, I think it's called, because the guy there has had an infestation of mealybugs so bad that when he put the plant down on the table, they all fell off and started running around the table. And I bet for a hell of a lot of you that's the first time you've ever seen an adult mealybug move. Because most of the time when you see them, they're stationary. They're just sat there in a leaf joint or just under a leaf. And they just sit there. And they appear to just do that. They just sit there doing nothing. Well, if you want to see how they can move, go and have a look at that video. Because they can shift, and therein lies the problem. If you think they're relatively static on the plant they're on, go and think again. Because boy, when they decide to move, they can shift. They can run, and I mean run. So they can transfer from one plant to another quickly. I don't know when they do that, because I've never seen one move like that before, but therein lies the evidence. Go and have a look at the video. Anyway, those are ex-mealybugs, I think. They were from last time round. They had a Q-tip, brand name, sorry, cotton wool bud with some alcohol. And the killing effect is the evaporation process of the alcohol. It evaporates so rapidly that it dehydrates anything it's touched, and therein lies the killing mechanism. It's not soaking them in it that actually kills them, it's the drying off that does it. So don't get them too wet, just give them a dab and off they go into oblivion. I'd love to think they could start in oblivion and never come out, but they do get about. Anyone who's never seen a mealybug thinks themselves, you ought to think yourself incredibly lucky. Because they do get about, those little monsters. They're not as damaging as some of the other bugs. I mean, quite honestly, the worst things I've ever had. I've had a couple of little bouts of spider mites, which, if left to get out of hand, are severe. Because they can take over a collection. And once they get to that stage where there's so many of them, they start making the little webs on the undersides of the leaves, you've got a serious problem. And they can take a bit of getting rid of. But I've only had a couple of minor outbreaks, and one spray eliminated them. You know, obviously with a systemic spray suitable to kill the little blighters. But the worst thing I've ever had is scale. And you know, whatever type of scale I've managed to get hold of, brought in on somebody else's plant no doubt, they have taken some shifting. And I've still got some, they're still lurking in there, you know. They seem to be able of surviving the spray in very, very small numbers and holding out without being seen for some time. So you think you've cured your plant. You think, right, that's got rid of them, that plant's now clean. And then 3 months later you see them, they're back. They are a nuisance to try and shift. Flamethrower will do it, but it doesn't do your plant a lot of good. Anyway, that's the last one for today. I have a massive backlog of videos now which I will trickle feed onto YouTube, and because I separated out all the potting and in this case mounting, obviously people can choose to watch or not, and it's entirely up to you. As I've always said, viewing is not compulsory. Not everybody likes repotting and mounting videos. Some love them. Some just like to look at pretty blooms. Some like the culture videos. We've all got our own taste. Some people seem to like everything. But you can't please all the people all the time. That's why I separated these out. So that's the last one for today. And now I need some proper food. And a sit down in front of a really interesting TV programme that I will promptly fall asleep in front of. And then when I finally wake up, it'll be bedtime. See you next time. Bye for now.